Hello. The reading for the Tuesday of Holy Week comes from the 12th chapter of St John's Gospel, beginning to read at verse 20 through to verse 36. Now, among those who went up to worship at the festival were some Greeks. They came to Philip, who was from Bethsaida in Galilee, and said to him, "Sir, we wish to see Jesus." Philip went and told Andrew. Then Andrew and Philip went and told Jesus. Jesus answered them, "The hour has come for the Son of Man to be glorified. Very truly I tell you, unless a grain of wheat falls into the earth and dies, it remains just a single grain. But if it dies, it bears much fruit. Those who love their life lose it, and those who hate their life in this world will keep it for eternal life. Whoever serves me must follow me, and where I am, there will my servant be also. Whoever serves me, the Father will honour. Now my soul is troubled, and what should I say? Father, save me from this hour? No, it is for this reason that I have come to this hour. Father, glorify your name." Then a voice came from heaven, "I have glorified it, and I will glorify it again." The crowd standing there heard it, and said that it was thunder. Others said, "An angel has spoken to him." Jesus answered, "This voice has come for your sake, not for mine. Now is the judgment of this world. Now the ruler of this world will be driven out, and I, when I am lifted up from the earth, will draw all people to myself." He said this to indicate the kind of death he was to die. The crowd answered him, "We've heard from the law that the Messiah remains forever. How can you say that the Son of Man must be lifted up? Who is this Son of Man?" Jesus said to them, "The light is with you for a little longer. Walk whilst you have the light, so that the darkness may not overtake you. If you walk in the darkness, you do not know where you're going. While you have the light, believe in the light, so that you may become children of light." After Jesus had said this, he departed and hid from them. I don't know about you, but over the last fortnight, I have felt quite powerless in many ways. Powerless to deal with this great tide of events that's sweeping over us with the coronavirus. Unable to hug my children, unable to hug my friends, to greet people in the conventional way. And I've been reflecting on this chapter from John, not just this reading today, but the chapter that we've had, the feast at the house of Lazarus, the Palm Sunday reading, and now this. And I have a sense that everyone involved in this, with the possible exception of Mary, is being swept along, powerless in the face of events. The Pharisees feel powerless. They think everybody is going to follow Jesus and their synagogues are emptying. They feel unable to act. The disciples, whilst they may not fully understand what's happening, are also being swept along by a crowd, by events, by Jesus himself, by their expectations of Jesus. And Jesus, in the midst of this maelstrom, is also bound up by the events. There is nothing. He's set them in motion. He's antagonized the authorities. He's made it almost impossible for them not to act. He knows that the time of his death fast approaches, and he understands what the nature of that death is going to be. And one part of him is terrified, and another part is accepting and almost embracing what is going to happen. I wonder how John felt at that time. I mean, when he writes this, he's remembering what it was like. And whilst he's writing this, do you notice how he's referring back to stuff that's already happened? He refers back to the raising of Lazarus and this idea of resurrection. He talks of Jesus being lifted up. Jesus speaks of being lifted up, and this is signalling the type of death, the crucifixion, that Jesus is going to suffer. And amidst all that, we hear Jesus talking again in John's terms about being the light of the world, that implication that takes us right back to the beginning of John's Gospel, when the light came into the world, and yet the world knew it not. And Jesus is imploring those people around him to follow the light whilst the light's still there. What Jesus wants is the best for everyone. What Jesus wants is for the light that he is, that light that shone in the darkness, that continues now to shine in the darkness. He wants that light to shine in everyone's lives. And he knows that those people around him now have but a short time to embrace that light before it's snuffed out. I sit here in the sunshine. Well, I don't actually, because I'm sitting here in the shade, but you can see the sun behind me, and with birds singing, and I am reminded of that light that was there at the start of creation. The light that came into the world. The light of love. The light of God. My prayer is that all of us in these difficult times, however powerless we may feel, that we will continue to embrace the light. And those of us that have not yet found it and are feeling overwhelmed and powerless at the moment, reconnect with the light of the world, reconnect with Jesus. And know that however dire things are, however difficult things are, God's love will surround each and every one of us for all our lives and for eternity. Amen.